Today's world is dominated by constant technological advancements. Gene editing can be used to eradicate disease, and the phone in your pocket is more powerful than the first ever supercomputer. Yet change is not evenly spread across our economy. The dominant method for how businesses trade has changed little since the 7th century. Imagine what could happen if human innovation was applied to the way businesses engage with each other.
Generally, businesses rely on their accountants to manage their books. Most of the time, this is done with manual data entry. What baffles me is that technological advancements seem to have skipped this critical part of the economy.
According to a 2020 ATO case study, only 15% of Australian businesses have implemented digital technologies. Those businesses without are reliant on manual processes to keep their balance sheets up to date, record transactions between parties, issue invoices to customers, and ensure they're getting paid accurately.
The problem with manual data entry is that humans are prone to making mistakes.
Of the 1.2 billion invoices issued in Australia every year, 53% are paid late, with a further 20% paid to the wrong account, and another 20% for the wrong amount entirely. Once a customer receives an invoice, they have to manually enter the data into their accounting system. The data that each business enters must match to be a true representation of the transaction. Not only is this process prone to keying errors, but it's painfully slow and can cause businesses to waste valuable time, resources, and money chasing customers for payments.
On average, small to medium businesses are spending 1 in every 5 working hours on bookkeeping and administration. That's about 7 to 8 weeks every year. Not only do inefficiencies from manual processes waste valuable time, but they contribute to cash flow problems and result in businesses having limited access to working capital. This is a real problem for countries all over the world, as it creates an economy that isn't resilient to changing circumstances and economic volatility.
1 in 3 businesses say they only have enough cash flow to survive for less than 3 months.
Cash flow is the movement of real or virtual money throughout an economy. Healthy cash flow occurs when more money comes into a business than flows out, while the opposite scenario, having more expenses than income, can put financial strain on businesses.
Cash flow is the leading cause of business failure, so much so that the government has put legislation in place that requires big businesses to pay little businesses within 30 days. E-invoicing is also being promoted as a solution to improve trading terms between businesses. These technologies really aren't a solution. They're band-aids and strategies that really just maintain the status quo. What if we just reimagine it? What if we do it better? What if we radically change the way in which businesses trade and share invoices so they collaborate and everyone gets value for their keystrokes? Innovation in business transactions will come in the form of workflow payments.
With the exception of car hire and hotels, booking a service is rarely accompanied by the use of a credit card to guarantee attendance or performance. Workflow payments connect the booking process to the payment event, enabling in-field payments to be completely contactless and triggered based on the completion status of the job being reached. In the business-to-consumer scenario, take for example a service technician heading out to fix a broken tap. Instead of the technician completing the job, issuing an invoice and waiting weeks to receive payment, workflow payments allows the technician to be paid at the moment the job is completed. When the customer makes a booking to have their tap fixed, they provide their payment details up front. The payment is authenticated, but no money comes out of the account. Once the technician completes the job, a notification is sent to the customer, who approves the job has been completed for the agreed charge, and the payment is made.
Think about the simplicity of paying for an Uber, but applying that to every business transaction. Whether that's paying for a delivery when it arrives at the door, or paying for a service booking in the future, or paying milestones as they happen. Going one step further, businesses could use workflow payments to trade with each other.
Typically, businesses offer other businesses payment terms, expecting payment for goods or services at a set date after the delivery or completion of a job. If you used workflow payments in this scenario, rather than having to chase up payment later, it's automatically collected once the job is done. If businesses could gain back the time they currently waste chasing down missing, late or inaccurate payments, not only would more money be moving throughout the economy, around $150 billion worth, but businesses would have more time to invest in their futures.
Workflow payments is about getting rid of terminals in the field. It's about never giving your credit card number out over the phone. It's about protecting your data and putting you in control of making a payment. Ultimately, when we blend this with our intent to pay framework and our access to our financial services stack, it's a real game changer.
An intent to pay framework enables customers to provide their suppliers with structured offers to settle outstanding debts, backed by a tokenized authority schedule to capture the payment. The concept would enable each party to collaborate on an affordable repayment plan that creates certainty in recovery for the seller.
Business payments are due for an overhaul. This technology, our technology, that's the shift that's needed.